Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Kelsey Vanek Real Estate. Today I want to talk about HOA. If you're thinking about buying a home and you keep seeing those letters HOA on listings and you're like, is that some type of insurance? What is that? Then you are in the right place. I'm going to talk to you about it today, so let's get into it. All right, so maybe you grew up in an HOA and you didn't realize it, or you didn't grow up in an HOA, so you aren't familiar with it at all. HOA stands for Homeowners Association. It can't just be summed up in a few sentences because of how much it can vary from neighborhood to neighborhood. There are quite a few amenities that you could get with an HOA. One you'll see often is road maintenance. So road maintenance is either public or private. If it's public, it's taken care of by the city. And if it's private and you're in an HOA, the HOA will often take care of their road maintenance. That's a pretty basic HOA amenity. Some other basic amenities that an HOA can take care of are street lights or the sign out front of your house. In some neighborhoods, you're gonna get a pool or a clubhouse and a gym. There might be a community gate and an attendant out front of your neighborhood that your HOA takes care of. There's a lot of neighborhoods in the Wilmington area that are waterfront, so you have dock access or kayak access. So let's talk about HOA fees. You could pay as little as $55 annually in some neighborhoods, and that's probably only gonna get you street maintenance like we talked about, or you could pay thousands of dollars a year. That's when you're probably gonna get a pool, a clubhouse, maybe sometimes that waterfront access. Some HOAs will take care of your front lawn and your back lawn, so it really just depends on the neighborhood. If you're thinking about buying a condo or a townhome, you are definitely going to be in an HOA. There's a few reasons for that. One, you have common areas that have to be insured by your HOA, and two, you share a roof, wall space, etc. You'll often notice that an HOA in a condo or a townhome is quite a bit more expensive than an HOA in a single family neighborhood, even if you're not getting like a gym or a pool. That is because a lot of the time, most of the time, your HOA at a townhome or a condo complex is going to come with master insurance. Master insurance is basically covering the outside of your home. You as the homeowner are responsible for covering what's inside of your home, paint to paint. Your roof and everything on the exterior will be covered by your master insurance. And because of this, your homeowner's insurance will be less, so the cost of that will about even out. So is living in a homeowners association right for you? You may be thinking, of course, it's a no-brainer. You're going to get a pool and a clubhouse and someone might take care of your yard. That sounds like a good deal. But if you're in an HOA, you have to abide by HOA's rules. And again, they may have a few rules that you have to follow, or you may basically have to get permission to let your family stay for the weekend. I'm just kidding, but really, you can get into the weeds with some of those HOA rules. HOA rules definitely can be a good thing. It's probably going to ensure that your neighbor's not gonna overgrow their grass and that they're not gonna park an RV in the side of their yard. But you're also going to have to get permission to do a lot of things like when to paint your house and what color you can paint it, changing your windows, if you can get a pool, installing a shed, you get the picture. So it's so important that when you're making an offer on a house or you really like a house, your real estate agent sends you all of the HOA documents you can get your hands on, rules, regulations, bylaws, all those sorts of things, so that you completely understand what you're getting into with those HOA rules. You don't want to order a nice tall privacy fence and then find out that you're only allowed to install a raw iron fence. Thinking of buying an investment property, there may be rules on renting if you're in an HOA. So do not forget to get your hands on those documents, and if you have a good agent, they're gonna make sure you see them. So what is it like to not live in an HOA? Well, the only thing your neighbors have to do is follow regular city and county laws. They can let their lawns overgrow, and you will probably not have a pool in your neighborhood. But you don't have to get permission to install a certain plant in your yard. And I do want to preface this by saying most of the time. There are other examples of times that you have to abide by rules, like when you're in a certain zone. For instance, downtown historic Wilmington is in the historic district. There are tons of rules. They're not paying a fee to live there, but they do have to get permission to paint their house, what color they're going to paint their house, and those sorts of things. But generally speaking, if you're in a residential neighborhood and you're not in an HOA, you do not have to get permission to do things to your house as long as you're abiding by regular laws. I don't live in an HOA. Unfortunately, most of my neighbors take care of their homes, and I live in a beautiful neighborhood. And because of the fact that I don't live in an HOA, all the houses look different. They're painted different colors, which I personally love. A lot of the times in an HOA neighborhood, they really love continuity, so all the houses are gonna be similar. So it's really all about preference, depends on the neighborhood. Again, get all the information from your real estate agent and figure out what's right for you. I do have to say, having a neighborhood pool would be really nice, especially in Wilmington. It's very hot in the summer. One more thing I think is really important to note with HOAs are assessments. This especially applies to neighborhoods that have a lot of common areas, a lot of amenities. Your association may reserve the right to charge residents for expenses. So I sold a house recently where there was boat docks and a hurricane completely wiped them out, and that association charged every homeowner a pretty hefty assessment on top of their regular HOA dues that they owe every year. So you have to think about that with an HOA as well. All right, hopefully you know a little bit more about homeowners associations than you did before. Talk with your agent and let them know what's important to you, and make sure the neighborhood you buy in does not limit those important items. If you're looking to buy or sell in Wilmington or have any questions on the area, feel free to give me a call. Thanks for watching.